Welcome to American McGee's Alice, a game I've been meaning to play for over 20 years to this point, I think.
Yeah, I think we've been threatening to do it on here for at least 3.
Sounds about right. I first saw this game at a comics shop while I was going for a Magic tournament. They had computers set up and a bunch of nerds were insisting on playing this game and this game alone on like 10 different consoles because this game was very popular in the early 2000s.
Yeah, it's one of those weird games that was really like super hot for about 20 minutes and then vanished without a trace for about another 6 or 7.
It was shocking when it got a sequel.
Yeah. Oh, like between that and Nier Automata, like those were the 2 biggest surprising sequels I can think of that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to show off the options screen as well before you start the game.
Well, let's see. Look at this. I was checking this out earlier to make sure I didn't screw anything up, and also that I got the resolution right, and we have a little mini game. You make her stare at the mouse.
Yeah, I knew there was some kind of mouse tracking with her eyes at some point in the game. I thought it was the title screen.
Well, too bad they didn't make the mouse into, like, a dormouse. Remember what the dormouse said.
Feed your head?
Sounds about right.
There's at least one version of this that I remember that the cursor is also the knife.
Oh, yeah. That would be more appropriate.
That might be the original release, though, because you're playing the more recent edition.
I made her attack the mirror.
Yeah.
And there's like a little paper cutout of the controller.
Yeah, right out of Madness Returns.
Nice.
A lot of the cutscenes have that kind of papercraft effect on them.
Now for difficulty. Medium seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Although you never know.
This game does get quite difficult, so I'd go with medium.
And I seriously doubt they let you bump down the difficulty mid-gameplay.
No, this was long before that was even considered to be a regular thing.
Yeah. Tragic, because it's a wonderful feature these days.
Oh, yes.
This artwork fared well in the transition. It actually looks quite detailed.
CGI's aged surprisingly well.
I could point to some other 2000s games with CGI that is not that true.
Like all of them?
Pretty much. Most games from that era look like Mystery of the Druids.
Wake up, Alice! Wake up!
Also, this entire opening, completely contradicted in the sequel.
Mom!
Not pictured the fact that Alice allegedly has a sister.
She doesn't care about her sister.
Yeah.
She wants her sister to burn.
The sequel comes in and it's like, oh yes, and her sister Lizzie died in the fire, and it's like, sorry, who?
Poor dear. After all these years, maybe that old rabbit will bring her around.
It's weird that I have subtitles on. There's no subtitles.
Yeah, I don't think there's subtitles in the cutscenes for whatever reason.
See, that seems like exactly the place where you would want subtitles.
Yep.
But I'm not a 2000s era game developer.
Again, wasn't really a commonplace thing.
True. We're lucky there aren't any, like, needless flashing lights right now. Because that was certainly commonplace.
Early 2000s game. How many slurs did they use in the intro?
Then a weird, like, MS-DOS screen for a second there.
Yep, the loading screen between levels is a map.
Dawdle, Alice. We're very late indeed.
So, after editing, I had to do a bunch of shitty OBS stuff to make these cutscenes display properly on stream.
You've gone quite
But it's
mangy,
worth it.
Cat.
At least
Your
it's only
brains
the
are
first
cut.
couple.
And you've
Yeah.
picked up a bit of an
Look at these character
attitude,
models. They're
seem
fantastic.
curious and willing to learn.
Wouldn't want to
I
deprive the world of these.
Yep.
Wonderland's
Only problem I have with the Cheshire Cat is the fact that he fades in entirely rather than just
Where
his
you're
smile.
going is preferable to being lost.
True, yeah.
I don't know if that was like a design limitation or if it was just they ran out of time, but
Yeah, it seems like they even wanted to have him fade in with just a smile, because his smile and eyes are flashing independently of the rest of his body. So they're clearly a separate model, and they just didn't finish the effect properly.
yep.
Our land is destroyed, our spirit crushed.
Here's the classic
Reminds me of this
gnome from the story of Alice.
Then no joy here?
Slavery and happiness do not dwell in the same house.
They do, but in alternate floors.
When the path is problematical, consider a leap of faith. Ride the wind.
As Judas Priest once suggested, we are going to ride on the wind.
See, I was thinking break like the wind.
Stir
That's
up
also
no
fun.
trouble, stranger. The Red Queen's agents are ruthless.
I'm not afraid of her or her creatures. Never was, really. You should stand up to them.
Defiance is useless. While the Queen reigns, only death can
It's going to
release
blame
us
the
from
victims of
this
slavery.
Or her death, I suppose.
It's a real
Meta
house elf
essence, the
situation
life
we're walking
force
into.
of Wonderland. That of your enemies is especially potent. Collect what you can. Use it wisely.
One thing I really like about the sequel is that they were actually able to get the voice actors for Alice and Cheshire back to do that, despite the fact that neither of them had done any games in like the 10 years between.
That's awesome.
Really, really great that they were able to do that. And they said if there ever is a third game, which now of course we know there won't be, they'd be more than happy to step in and do that as well.
Necessary, but not sufficient. Always collect.
Maybe they
what
can
you
get them to do
use.
like a
Object only.
radio drama or something.
That would be like some kind of animated film, which was another thing that was on the docket. He was trying to get done. Would be like a worthwhile second place, but again, doesn't look like we're getting that either.
Totally, yeah. I mean, had his heart set on a game. It's what the people want, is a game.
Oh yeah,
Things really as
If
bad
they
as
made a
all
movie
that.
of it, it would be probably well received, but rapidly forgotten.
yeah. Like I could see us getting maybe like a 6-episode Netflix series, and that's about it.
I shouldn't think
Yeah,
so.
that
I'm a person.
Works well
And just
with
now, I
modern
wish to get
media
very small.
sensibilities.
About this big.
6 episodes, 3 of them actually get out after they get deleted.
Everything pushed out on the same day with absolutely no advertising whatsoever.
Not twisted.
Oh, why did
Yeah,
it fail and
that's
not get a second
I wish to
series?
become
I
like this
wonder.
big.
The fortress adores hold such secrets, but it will take more than a wish to get inside.
Doors have locks. Locks need keys, which you don't have. Let's hope the doors are open.
And if not, there may be more than one way to skin a cat, if you'll pardon the expression.
Most unpleasant metaphor. Please avoid it in future.
Kind of weird that we have this extreme in media res where Alice clearly has been here and recognizes everything and is not at all perturbed. But we're also learning, like, what keys are.
Yeah. Like
Shit, monsters.
this is supposed to be like a sequel to Alice Through the Looking Glass, but without any of the characters or anything. Like the character, I can't remember if they say it or not in this or if it's just in the sequel, but the character's name is Alice Liddell, who was the girl that Alice was meant to have been based on. Other than the name, she doesn't share anything with her, to the best of my knowledge.
Only a few find the way. Some don't recognize it when they do. Some don't ever want to.
But yeah, everything in this is supposed to be some kind of reference to, if not Alice or Through the Looking Glass, then the work of Lewis Carroll. The first weapon we've got here is the Vorpal Blade, which is from the Jabberwocky.
If you get a critical, it cuts their head off.
Yep. All the weapons have a finisher of some sort.
Oh, it actually does. Oh, yeah, we did one combat encounter and we cut their head off.
Yep.
And I was making a D&D joke.
Nope.
I'm in the goo. The goo does look kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's some trippy shit.
As I said, some of the effects in this have been touched up, but most of what you see is more or less how it was presented originally. I think the majority of it's just stuff like widescreen support.
Which is definitely nice to have.
And I remember the key bindings being really bizarre as well, not particularly fun.
Feels like I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah, I think you're supposed to go upwards.
Yeah. Oh, I can make the jump.
Yep.
I was a millimeter short last time I tried.
If you look, you can see like a little pair of feet whenever in front of you. That's where you'll land if you jump.
Oh, neat.
Perhaps.
These kind of games were really more console games rather than PC games back in the 2000s. So they added that because they thought that PC gamers wouldn't be able to adapt.
Make your way to the mines, the deepest pit. There's one wiser and braver than myself who might help. He still lives free.
And the reason I never played this is because it was PC exclusive.
Yep.
I never had a gaming quality computer. Still don't, really. If I'm honest.
Every adventure requires a first step.
You're mine.
Even here.
Aren't you glad you've got a Scotsman here to make jokes like that?
Perfect.
That's how it's pronounced, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Clearly, you've done a lot of barroom threats.
Also,
Nice to be able to
the
pronounce that.
gnome that we were talking to there, I've heard, I don't know if it's true, but apparently that's Ian McDermott, who played Emperor Palpatine in the
Oh, yeah, I
Star Wars
recognize the name.
movies, doing an uncredited role.
Nice.
Apparently he does some of the voice work in this. Don't know if it's true, but
Hanging
I remember that
ropes
was
are
meant to be like a
as
big deal
as
at the
for
time.
those who know how to use them.
Let's... not the best swing I've ever done.
Yep. So with these ropes, you can climb
There
up
we
and
go.
down. The game does not tell you that. Ask me how
See
I
if I
know.
can figure it out. There it is. Triangle gets you climbing.
Yep. The original PC version, I believe it was page up and page down that you needed to do.
Everyone's favorite buttons.
Yeah, two of the most easily forgettable ones in the entire keyboard.
I assume that will be necessary later.
Yes.
Gotta stop jumping in this goo. Good thing it's not that deadly. Odd medium difficulty.
Yeah. Once all this up until we get to, I can't remember if it's a school or a library or possibly both. Everything we
Why do
do
you
up till then is
pursue me
basically
to this
tutorial.
deserted place.
To benefit from your wisdom.
I need it.
Even blurred vision is valued by the blind. If I were clever, would I cower in this slag heap? I'm not wise, girl. I've just grown old.
I wish to get very small, no bigger than a mouse. Do you know how I might do that?
Only that? Oh, yes. I could manage that.
I do that every day.
For a price.
I have nothing of value.
You have nerve and your health. Mine are nearly gone. I've seen too much suffering, and I smoke too much, you see.
What must I do?
In the card guard's compound,
Have you
Sell
heard
your
of
nerves and
particularly
health.
rough
Have you heard of a
dirt holds the
dispensary?
key. Retrieve it. I will repay the favor.
Yeah, if we get him off tobacco and into something better, he'll have no choice but to thank us.
Remember, kids, don't get into vaping. Makes you look like a douchebag.
Also true. I don't know what these big bubbles do.
They restore health, and so the blue bar, red bar obviously is your health. The blue bar is your ammo, essentially. The knife doesn't use any, but others will. And those bubbles, I believe they refill both at the same time.
Interesting. Because, yeah, we've got the triangles. Those have been refilling health.
Yep.
Prisms, really. Things that a sim would have over their head.
Also, with the knife, you can throw it. But when
nice.
you do, it is... For the weaker enemies, it's a one-hit kill almost. But you need to wait until your knife respawns, essentially. You can't just call it back. So be very careful when you use that.
Weird that the track fell apart in front of us multiple times. We still made it safely to our destination. I didn't even have to jump.
Yeah, kind of surprising, that.
Oh, I threw my knife right when you said.
Yep.
To be very careful.
Don't do
about
that. Takes about 5 or 6 seconds for it to come back, but that's an eternity in this game. Also,
Really
if you go
is.
back, the guy dropped some more health for you.
Oh, he did.
Most of the enemies will drop some kind of health or ammo refill.
Also, I don't think I mentioned that when you jump, you can sort of influence your direction while in midair, but you're mostly committed.
There's a wee bit of air control.
52 pickup is a staple of juvenile humor, but when the deck slices and dices, it's no laughing matter.
Probably shouldn't be throwing my cards away.
The deck of cards is basically your machine gun. Your alternate attack for it is a shotgun blast.
There it is.
Rapid fire, not particularly weak, or super strong, but short range.
Turn it into a nice third-person shooter, which, if it's anything like the Punisher, I might be good at.
It has a lot of elements of it. Most of the weapons in the game do have some kind of FPS analog.
Big heart. I assume that's just a large health refill.
Yep. Large health and ammo.
That was the thing, right? That was the tobacco pipe that we were here for.
Key, yeah.
Right, key.
Key called
And
it.
this thing.
Yes, jump into the butthole of terror.
Will do. AKA shortcut.
Sure, if you want to be boring about it.
Ambushed.
Yep. The red card guards are the first ranged enemies that we fight. Not that much more difficult. And the lock-on in the game, fairly decent, but can be quite tricky when there's a whole bunch of enemies coming up to you in melee.
Yeah, it seems like my shots are either expiring or hitting the thing below the guy.
Yeah. It's decent for early 2000s, but from
Yeah.
this day and age, yeah, you're gonna see the deficiencies.
Sure do. One down. We don't even really need to kill the other one. Wasn't doing
Have the
anything.
key. Very resourceful. Rabbit's confidence is not misplaced. He is no fool.
I certainly hope he is not.
It's almost a shame that I played Psychonauts so recently.
Yeah.
Because this game has a lot in common.
Yeah, now you mention it, there's a lot of crossover. This is Grimdark Psychonauts.
I'm sure I'm very
Yep.
sorry for them.
Beat
sir.
it by
Really
half a
I am.
decade, so
What about
Which is
McGee's?
it is
weird
more... Yeah. It's more inspiration to Psychonauts than the other way around.
And then arguably, Madness Returns was inspired by Psychonauts.
Yeah, I would say that's outright likely.
There's a school inside the fortress where you'll find certain items for creating a concoction that will make you small.
What items exactly?
So we have to play an entire level in order to get small.
Yep.
This asshole said it was going to be simple.
Items.
I mean, it is for him. He's just
You'll know them
transporting
when
you.
you see them. Speaking of seeing
guess
things,
so.
we should avoid the card guard's notice. Hang on. Ah, damn it. We've been seen.
Time for a stealth mission. Whoops, I fucked it up.
Yep. He was gonna drop you right in the heart, but, well... Good going, Terry the Gnome.
Now we gotta play the game.
Yeah, that intro was... That first batch of levels was essentially all the tutorial that you're gonna
Must
get.
break through such walls.
Yeah.
But for now, jump!
And I assume that area is something of a hub that we're going to return to when we have the ability to get small.
Yeah, it's not so much a hub, but we will be back there because we need to go through that hole to follow the rabbit. Dylan say 8837. I can't remember the gimmick of this story wise that well. Isn't this meant to be a sequel to the book where Alice goes back to Wonderland and it's all fucked up or something, right? Yeah, we spoke about that presumably just before you came in, about how this is a sequel to Alice Through the Looking Glass, and also with a whole bunch of Lewis Carroll's other stuff in it.
I cannot get her to jump up this cliff here.
I don't think you're supposed to go up there.
I guess not. Sure made it look like it was possible.
Yeah. I remember the first time I played this whole area being a real pain in the ass because I wasn't quite sure how to get anywhere.
Yeah.
And there was one section in particular which I was stumped by, simply because there was no direction whatsoever.
Wizards. Oh, I got knocked through I fell through the floor.
Yep.
Just gonna blame the enemies for that.
I know, these guys are picked.
Yeah, what the hell am I even supposed to do to them?
Hit them with cards. Their best option.
I'm trying to, like, work the lock-on, but I don't know how the lock-on works. It seems automatic, but then when I fire, nothing really happens.
Yep. It's also the fact that the cards are so rapid fire, unless you like listen for the sound, you won't notice that they are actually firing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really difficult to tell if they're firing or not. And you should remember that big squiggly meat thing.
But it's not on this side of the wall, somehow. Oh. Let's see how saving works if I want to do it manually in the future. Seems pretty self-explanatory.
Also, go back into the save menu a second. Look at the bottom right. Load, save, delete.
LSD.
Yep. Although I say fucked up version, I remember reading the Some Weird History of Lewis Carroll and an IRL Obsession. Yeah, that's one of the things that a lot of historians argue about, whether or not he viewed the real life Alice Little as an inspiration or something more sinister. Probably best to leave that alone for the time being.
Probably. But, I mean, people have pointed out that making a fucked up version of Alice is basically redundant.
It's not a particularly huge stretch.
Yeah.
Making a early 2000s hot topic goth as fuck, fantastic. Go on.
Yep.
But, you know, saying, yeah, these stories were actually kind of weird. Like, really, you don't say.
I'm the first person to notice this.
I'm a genius.
I'm so smart, I named myself American.
I think he has a sister called Liberty as well, or something.
Jesus. No wonder he turned out so goth and fucked up.
Yep. Although his family history with his sister is really sad. His parents, unsurprisingly, were hippie burnout. And I think his sister actually went like proper missing, like, as in without a trace of the body's never been found. Really, really sad story from the guy.
Yeah, that's pretty dark.
But he's obviously one of those channel the darkness into art, so I'm all for that.
Yeah, totally. He has a section on his website where he sells like plush dolls.
I so want all of those.
Yeah, plushy dreadfuls. They're fucking phenomenal.
Oh, they are so
They'll
good.
represent mental illnesses and stuff, and
Yeah.
they're made by people with those mental illnesses, and they're very respectful and awesome.
Yeah, they also look amazing.
They really do.
Fair enough, he also wrote Treasure Island, which is the basis of my favorite Muppets movie. That was Robert Louis Stevenson. Lewis Carroll was
Lewis
more...
Carroll helped.
Lewis Carroll was more into writing incredibly witty stories with lots of wordplay as opposed to pirate adventure. Like, basically every single one of his books was an excuse for lots and lots of wordplay.
Oh, my face melted. Ooh. And I became a demon.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Welcome to Rage Mode.
Nice. I got Doom Berserk mode.
Yep. Funnily enough, this game is running on the Quake 3 engine, so the fact of just giving you a quad damage power-up. Can't help but wonder if that was intentional or not.
Yep. Well, that rules.
Yep.
But I'm wasting it. I guess
Yeah.
I killed everybody.
Every time the game do one of those power-ups, there's like 3 enemies in the area and that's it. You never get the chance to use it properly.
That's a shame. I need to get Berserk mode.
Yep.
Become a demon forever.
The sequel does it better. It gives you what they call Hysteria mode, which you can trigger at will.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah, this is a waiting puzzle, unfortunately.
Yeah, the puzzle pieces are going the opposite direction of where I need to go. Come back, puzzle pieces. Oh, there's a door.
No, come back.
It's not letting me in. Everything is leaving. Even inanimate objects are running away from me rapidly.
What have I become, my Swedish friend?
Someone on the dev team loved the idea of puzzle piece platforming.
Oh yeah, shows up a lot in this game and in the sequel.
Glorious.
And presumably the third game, if it had ever come out.
Yeah, I would have to imagine. It's been a staple of the series for so long.
This one just had like air vent jumps. The sequel has quadra jumps. God alone only knows what they had planned for the third one.
Infinity -1 jump. I loaded.
Oh, son of a bitch.
In fairness, the menu is hard to navigate.
Yeah. Plus, I don't think it has quick save and quick load buttons.
Yeah, as well it should. All part of the learning curve. Figuring out how to save the goddamn game.
There's a cool visual, and I get the feeling aesthetics was more important than practicality in developing this game. Just check out, if you ever get the chance, check out the art book for Madness Returns. The concept art in it is beautiful, and it will make you cry. Because I've said this before, I know I've definitely said this before in the stream. But you're reading it, and they'll be talking about this really cool idea that they had for a set piece or for a level or something, and they'll show off all the design work that they put into it, and then each and every time they will say the words, "Unfortunately, we did not have the time/money available to put this into practice, so we had to scrap it. And it will break your heart for what could have been, because as much as I love the sequel, a good third of the stages in it are absolutely terrible and could have been ripped out. And if they'd replaced it with some of the better ideas from the art book, it would have been an easy 8, 9, 10 out of 10.
Okay, back to the spot. Finally.
Murder the ghasts, or whatever the hell they are.
See, 2 of them at the same time is hell on earth. I haven't found a way to deal with it yet.
It's the fact that they alternate their attacks as well.
Exactly, you're basically stun locked.
I think you can stun them with the rapid fire rather than the shotgun.
Yeah, he fell right to the ground.
Art books can make you sad. I remember seeing Wayne Barlow or Balrog, the creature designs for the Dante's Inferno game, that got rejected because they were too horrible. Yeah, and then they went and copied his designs for 90% of the game anyway.
That sounds like a perfectly legal thing to do.
Yeah, they did use a lot of his designs, but they were also quote-unquote heavily influenced by him. But they did have him designing a lot of stuff for the game. Not as bad as Agony, which was just basically Wayne Barlow, the video game. Except they never got him involved.
The old school form of AI art, where you just straight up stole the artist's work.
Pretty much. It's one of those things, I love the art for the game, but at the end of the day, it's because it reminds me of a thing I actually like. And it's not like the guy who they based everything on didn't get paid for it, which is shitty as hell.
Yeah, totally. First appearance of the Mad Hatter.
Yep. Far from the last.
Yep. Save frequently. But always double check your saves, because I
Yeah.
don't trust this game's save system. See, it's already trying to delete my saves.
I can't remember if there's anything down on the left. There's a path there as well.
Let's see.
I think it just
Might as
takes
well
you
check it
to
out.
where you were.
There's a lower level and a cutscene.
The plot
A lot of levers.
is a mystery to me. You too?
Oh, yeah. If I remember correctly, you need to open the doors that we just closed in a certain order.
Not surprised. Well, it's our first puzzle. This game already reminds me of Darkened Sky, not to insult it too badly.
The Skittles game.
Yeah, exactly. I unapologetically love.
Okay, I know the answer to this one.
Is it 2, 3, 1?
3, 1, 2.
Damn.
Close.
I think I gotta go upstairs and reset them.
Possibly, yeah.
That a shot.
I feel Dante's
Is there
Inferno-
any indication whatsoever as to what the solution is?
Yep.
Like,
If you listen.
I see. Okay.
So it's either
Thank you.
3, 1, 2 or 2, 1, 3, depending on how they've got it, or what they're asking you to. I feel Dante's Inferno peaked at Cleopatra at how much they can be horrible. Like, they hit the quota and can't go any further. Yeah, it was Volition Games responsible for it, and Dead Space. Someone on that team really hated babies. Because Dead Space...
That was
2
an
had these-
intense, like, that was a new level edgelord era in gaming.
Because Dead Space 1 and 2 both have baby enemies that explode in the second one. And you've got the razor babies in Dante's Inferno. And if you kill 50 of them, you get the achievement Bad Babysitter. You just know that if it had come out a few years later, they would have had a reference to Casey Anthony in there.
Well, that audio puzzle was pretty cool, at least.
Yep.
I didn't even spot what was happening.
Although if you're deaf, you're probably kind of gonna have to do it by trial and error.
True, yeah. Game accessibility has come a very, very, very long way.
Oh yeah. I remember the first time I played this, looking at these kind of platforming challenges, and I was like, this is where most other games end.
True. It's a good thing this isn't actually a first-person game, just by the developers of first-person games, because
Tron 2.0
first-person jumping platforms.
was the first game that had first-person jumping platform puzzles that I absolutely hated. And I will never forgive it for that.
Yeah, Half-Life is notorious for them.
Yep. I think Half-Life is worse for the ladder physics more than the platforming, though.
Yeah. I think I could make that jump. I don't see any higher platforms, so I guess I gotta make that jump.
Be able to, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, big loopy. Suddenly getting flashbacks to Darkened Skies level in the clouds where you had to jump on tiny pillows.
Yeah, I actually like that level, though. Maybe just Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah. Never played it myself, though when it was released over here, it had none of the Skittles tie-in. The advertising was only good for the American version, apparently.
Yeah. And we're there.
And so...
I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna have 1 trillion saves at the end of this. Just in case any more wizards show up. And I'm out of ammo.
Don't forget you can throw your knife as well.
Yeah. It missed.
Not like that.
Probably should not throw my knife, unless I'm 100% confident in where it's going to land.
Yeah, it's a last resort weapon for throwing. Really only good against the ranged guards.
Yeah. I can't see any way to do that fight that doesn't involve getting hit 1,000 times.
Yeah. It is possible to avoid them with correct strafing and so on, but it's been so long since I played this, I don't remember how.
Yeah, it feels like it should more or less work, but I certainly don't have the right muscles to do it properly.
Yeah. Are the health and mana bars meant to be syringes? They kind of look like it.
I can see that.
Yeah. I don't think it's intentional, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if they wanted them to be syringes, they probably would have made it even more explicit.
Yeah, the game's not subtle. Don't know if you've
That's for
noticed.
damn sure. I'm on the wall. I only need to hit them twice, but my attacks are shockingly slow.
Yeah.
Oh god. These assholes again. And he flew behind me.
Those guys are called boojums, apparently.
That sounds like a slur.
Possibly inspired by a type of dangerous snark in the poem The Hunting of the Snark. Also similar to Banshees, which American McGee's admitted to as a possible inspiration.
Well, it feels good when they die. Guess we should happen faster. Whoop. Get out those cards. Deal him a terrible hand, and he folds.
Nice.
Entering school
Got anything to say?
requires a real leap of logic.
Okay, I guess I'm supposed to jump in there. What's over here? Secrets? Unlockable concept art? Nothing. Doesn't the sequel have unlockable concept art all over the place?
Oh god, yeah. There's various different bits and pieces you can pick up. There's bottles, keys, there's something else. And they all give you a bit of audio relating to Alice's life before she wound up in the asylum. And yeah, they also unlock concept art. I think there's some like 250 different pieces you can pick up.
It does sound fun and cool.
Yeah,
I have to begrudgingly admit.
I gave up on doing any of that because there is just so much, and you can't backtrack half the time.
Oh, God.
So if you miss something, you need to wait until you get the... I think when you complete the game, you can pick the... Oh no, you can pick the level that you want to go to, I'm pretty sure, any time. But the levels are also very
Then you got to replay the entire level to get the things, right?
Exactly. You can go for like chapters in each level, but again, they are very hard.
Again, very reminiscent of Psychonauts. If you're going to get all the figments. Which you should never do, because it's not
Yeah.
worth it.
And if you're going to do all the figments, seek therapy, ironically.
Entering
Pretty much.
school requires a real leap of logic.
You need to get psychonauted yourself.
Self-harming is bad, kids. Don't do it.
Okay, perfect jump. Right through the window. Trust me. Ooh, phrenology. So we're in a very legitimate school
Oh, yes.
that teaches science.
This is the most school.
What the hell's up with this kid? Put him out of his misery?
No. These are little kids that have just been lobotomized, essentially. Forced to smile. Because, 2000s.
This guy appears to have just been killed by friendly fire.
Oh, yeah.
If that's a thing.
That's a thing in the game as well.
Nice. Only there was monster infighting.
Yep. We're dealing on half-doom rules here.
Yeah.
You can get enemies to kill themselves, or kill each other. I don't know if you can get them to actually fight, though.
Doesn't seem like it so far. I like this. Stacks of books underneath the floor.
Yep.
That'll give your ass some vertigo. There's a little platform down there, but I feel like I probably should not go down there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not a thing.
It doesn't seem like it.
Like, by all means, leap of faith and all that.
Yeah. So far, this is surprisingly devoid of secrets, or the secrets are extremely well hidden. I'm just not finding them.
The only secret that you'll find is one secret weapon that you need to collect 3 parts of. And the
Classic FPS stuff.
Yep, and the game is entirely beatable and enjoyable without it. So, if you want to get it, great. If you don't, great.
Like, we were just playing Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, and it turns out that game has like 1 billion extremely obscure secrets that we were just walking past all the time.
Yep.
Because they're really obscure, and there was no chance in hell we were ever going to find them naturally.
Yep. The majority of them as well are only available in 2-player modes. So if you were playing it
Which we were in.
single player, as I did back in the day, tough cookies.
Pretty much. Too bad they're so obscure, because the secret sounded even cooler than like the main game.
Yeah. Oh no,
I hate when games do that.
they really wanted to go all out because the Mortal Kombat games had basically, Reptile was the first ever hidden character in any kind of fighting game. swiftly followed by Akuma in Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, sorry. So with that, because it was going to be set between the two games, they basically went, yeah, we really want to go all out with the secrets and so on. And they did. Just possibly a bit too clever for their own good.
Quite possibly. I found a dead end with a lobotomized kid in it.
Mm-hmm.
Help me.
And this was the level that really had me stumped for ages.
I'm feeling a bit stumpy. Oh, that's something. Didn't make it.
That's our next weapon.
Yeah. I recognize that from when I grabbed the Vorpal knife. Also had to go back to that clock, because it is a cool clock. It's so cool that it seems like it should do something.
Now, the one thing between the two Alice games is there is a lot of extraneous eye candy.
Yeah.
But it's all in service of providing a real feel for the areas.
Am I not supposed to make that jump? I know this asshole. How did he get ahead of us? Did he do the entire quest we just did, but faster?
He could get really tiny, so he just took the back roads.
Ah. Wall hacks. Gotcha.
Now he's enjoying some magic eye paintings.
There's a bit more to do than you suggested, don't you think?
No need for sarcasm.
I was high when I said that. Don't
My
listen to
memory's
me.
not what it was. I'm here now. Try to amend its deficiencies. The library contains a recipe for the potion. Consult the book of bizarre things. Oh no! Run!
Oh no! Run!
His voice acting was pretty good until that moment.
Possibly a bit more urgency. We can go for another take if you... No, okay then.
I got this.
Listen, they call me One Take Charlie for a reason.
Because my name is Fred.
No, this isn't Mario 64, unfortunately.
Damn. Tragically few games are these days. Let's check out this guy's headgear.
Except, strangely enough, Cruelty Squad.
Got a clamp on his head. This guy's a Cenobite.
Yep, don't think much of this Clive Barker cosplay.
So we just scared off our friend. Oh, he went to the library. Of course he did. And I played the level in the wrong order.
Yeah. Some areas in this are very heavily reliant on plot triggers.
Am I really just not supposed to make this jump? Nope. Gotcha.
Yeah, there was a way to get it
Here's a
early.
riddle. When is
Yeah.
a croquet mallet
Jump
like
on a mantle.
billy club? I tell you, whenever you want it to be.
So yeah, this is the croquet mallet, in the shape of a flamingo, because of course. Standard attack is a more powerful melee attack. If you press the alt attack, you can fire exploding croquet balls that bounce.
Sure can.
Does
Look at him go.
Does the mallet swing faster than the knife? I think it's actually a little bit slower, but it is more powerful. Really, this is an upgraded knife in pretty much every way.
Feels like it has more range,
Yeah.
which I desperately needed. For some reason, these guys are electrified. There we go. Didn't even get hit that time. Like the first combat encounter of the entire game.
Or swallowed the wrong way there.
Brutal.
That or I swallowed a bug. I've had the windows open all day. But yeah,
That's free bonus protein.
they say that you swallow 22 bugs in your sleep every year, but you can actually eat as many as you want. They're free.
It's true.
And
Spider's George will tell you.
he's an outlier. He should never have been counted in the first place.
I begrudgingly agree. Okay, we got Banjo-Kazooie Cheats book lying away from me. That's the one. Didn't know you were into voice acting that early.
Oh, I'm a wannabe voice actor like everyone else on YouTube.
True. Me included.
No, see, I can read all the text in 3 funny voices, which makes me better than most of them.
I mean, you're in the UK. You could have actually voiced that book.
On the way, but the steps
I think I was also about 18, 17 when this game came out. Possibly not.
Perfect time to already be a professional voice actor. That's when most people assume they are already professional voice actors.
Yeah.
Why the hell is everyone electrified up here?
That's the club doing that.
Oh. Gibbed that guy.
Secret information the government doesn't want you to know. You can just take ducks in the park. They're free. The FBI wants to know your location.
Just listen for the quacking.
Sinister ducks. Trying to get the
the book's over there.
Now it seems.
Yeah. Definitely getting better at it.
Yeah.
Here, book.
A lot of the game is basically either killing enemies before they get to you or baiting out attacks, then punishing.
Yeah, that's been my strat. Not allowed to observe, tragically.
No voyeurs here.
But what am I allowed to do?
I
Let's
can
take fall damage.
give you the general idea for this area if you want.
Oh, I found another book.
There we go.
Do I need to make the books friends? Yeah, books are going to go be friends. There's probably more books that I need to build a bridge
Yep.
of some sort. This elevator's not working, though. Yes, it is. Never mind.
Remember, this game
Secret was patience.
This game is entirely style-based. Like, if something doesn't look like it's going to work, that's like 60% of the time because it needs to do an overly elaborate animation first.
Yep. I'm learning. Starting to speak this game's language. As obtuse as it is.
And that should be all of them, I believe.
Yes. But now, the hard part. Actual platforming. Seems worthy of a save.
Good call.
How am I supposed to make
Possibly you
that?
need
Am
to
I
get
missing a
fourth
book?
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Crud.
Yes, the level needs to gaslight you. Yeah, if you actually look closely, one of these shelves has a copy of the yellow wallpaper. There it is.
Should have known there'd be a cutscene when I actually succeed. One of my problems is aiming above or below the enemy's hitbox,
Yeah, the
which
game
is not nearly as bad as it was in Darkened Sky.
Yeah, the game is very precise.
Yeah.
Again, I assume that's because it was based on the Quake 3 engine.
Darkened Sky was just, if you aren't looking dead forward, the enemy is invincible until you look directly into their eyes. Good guarding. The hell off my elevator.
See ya.
Another save, now that we're actually doing things correctly. Oh, that's why we save.
Now imagine playing this on a machine where, or at a time I should say, where the loading takes about 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah. That's the intended experience,
There's no
but
lock.
Oh, yes.
It won't open.
I'm glad
It's stuck.
loading has gotten way better over the
Chinese
years.
box.
I really remember it being pretty bad on the 360 as well.
Trick.
That was kind of a weird kludged together emulator.
Yeah.
Rather than-
kind of a miracle that it worked on 360 at all.
Yeah. Rather than just being an actual proper port.
You call that a tap? Fortunate I didn't suggest force. You might have pulverized it.
I was hoping there'd be a flask inside.
I feel like most of Alice in Wonderland could be summed up as, then the world did everything in its power to gaslight Alice. Oh, just wait till we get to Madness Returns. That's all I'm saying for now.
Mushrooms,
Right into
poppies,
the book.
sugar and spice. All those
I was
things
hoping
are
it would,
very
like, send
nice.
us into a little
when
story.
Combined, the proper mixture makes a getting small elixir.
Let us play Moby
I don't
Dick.
really like sweets.
Any
She
percent,
doesn't like sweets.
any percent whale speedrun.
Apparently, insanity either makes you obsessed with candy, like Sweet Tooth, or hate it, like Alice.
Yes, Alice is quite bitter.
Now I get it. Why am I shooting over his head? The aiming for these cars is so weird.
Yeah, they have some kind of vague homing to them.
Yeah.
But it seems sometimes like it overcompensates and other times it undercompensates.
Totally.
Again, I'm not sure if that's the port or... Because the original, they were... Again, I remember them being fairly decent, but I don't know if that's, imprecise memory.
Totally.
Because...
Hard to trust yourself.
Yeah. Because I first played this back when it came out, and then I played the 360 version for all of about an hour or so. It's a little long enough to realize, no, wait, this isn't particularly a good port.
Yeah.
But I also didn't have a machine that could really play it because the fan ports hadn't come out yet.
You'd think the door adorned with a bunch of hearts would be more valuable. Got a lever.
I think this was the first part that I became really stuck in.
Oh, Jesus. What are you doing in the rafters, man? It's like you don't even want me to shrink. Also, what do the rafters have to do with this staircase in the middle of nowhere that doesn't lead to anything? Besides crumbled rafters. These things cannot possibly be related.
You're crazy.
I get that a lot.
Me too.
Chandeliers of death.
Okay, don't pick up the pain box just yet.
Ah, yes. Call. Barely saved me from myself.
The gymnasium should be safe. Guards never exercise. Can't afford to lose the weight.
I never
Hashtag
cared
fat
for
shaming.
sports at school. I don't have to put on a penny, do I?
No, it wouldn't suit you. I
Penny is a word I haven't heard about.
Short for
25
24.
years. Yeah.
Just in case anyone who doesn't know.
I legitimately did not know that.
Bearded man hanging...
But I did hear that word a lot.
Yeah. Bearded man hanging out in the rafters of a school. Kinda sus. Bearded man hanging out in the rafters handing out mushrooms.
No, I've been knocked down. Do our cards also get improved if we go berserk?
Yeah. All your attacks, it is basically just a quad damage power-up.
Up. Good thing this room's so large, or otherwise I would have been totally screwed by not getting that thing.
Yeah. They don't actually do much damage, but the knockback can really screw you over.
Yeah, I really wanted to be a demon again. I wanted the upgrade for purely aesthetic reasons.
Doing it for the aesthetic.
Yep. Turning Alice into Fashion Souls.
I think in this case it would actually be Demon Souls.
True, yeah. Being respawned. That's a very darkened sky. Respawn the pain in the ass enemies.
I think for the most part it only happens with plot triggers. You'll be glad to know.
Yeah. But those are very frequent, so.
Madness Returns kind of has Fashion Souls. It does and it doesn't, because you get the steam dress that you get in the first stage, and then you never wear any other. Because it is the best dress. Although the doll dress, I think in 4th or 5th world, is a close second.
Yeah, the croquet mallet balls are pretty strong.
Yep. 2
Maybe I should
shots
use
as
those more
opposed
often.
to, what, 3 whacks?
Yeah. Can't say I liked walking in that door and immediately dying. Gonna make better use of the berserk this time.
Found the Tumblr post. Can I request the ability to comment a Tumblr link?
Oh, what's the Tumblr post? But honestly, that's probably fine.
Yeah. Go ahead. If it gets blocked, I'll see what I can do here.
Yeah. There's going to be an ambush, so equip the cards.
And then run as fast as you can to the pain box.
Yep.
I think that's what it's actually called as well.
Gymnasium should be safe.
So someone was a
Guards never
really big fan of Dune.
Can't afford to lose the weight.
How fine you look when dressed in rage. Your enemies are fortunate that your condition is not permanent.
Yeah, that's worked fine.
Red eyes suit
In almost every other children's book where the main heroine is swept away to a land of whimsy where she's shown having a lovely time, braving dangers occasionally, trying to find her way home, sure, but ultimately delighting in the magic around her. Meanwhile, Alice spends her entire time in Wonderland like, and it's a picture of Dennis from It's Always Sunny, glowering. Look, here's the thing. Alice in Wonderland's entire fucking charm is that it perfectly captures the vibe of being a very tired and annoyed child who is nonetheless required to play along with adult nonsense. Alice is dragged from place to place without warning, forced to play stupid games with no good prizes, grilled over her schooling and manners and recitation and dress, scolded, judged, insulted to her face, sent away, given gifts she doesn't ask for and doesn't like, corrected incorrectly, then subject to shifting and arbitrary rules, and then when she gets snappish with all this bullshit, everyone acts like a little girl's temper is the end of the fucking world. Alice in Wonderland isn't a drug trip or a nightmare or a metaphor. That's just what being 10 years old is like. That's why kids love it so much. Even if they can't quite articulate how, they recognize themselves in it. Yeah, not too far off, actually.
That's a reading. Yeah. Little guy's helping now.
You're fortunate I passed by.
Meaning what? I was about to say you're lucky to have found me. Look, I found the last ingredient, sugared spice drops.
Whenever
think
we
we still
meet
to
up,
find
it
the
seems like
second.
also find a bit more trouble. See
Yeah.
any jumbo grow about?
There's a bit in that flask on the sideboard. You see? We're set. Bring back some poppy blooms and we'll mix up the potion.
Okay, so we're getting some poppy, the seed of the poppy. I think
That's perfectly innocent.
I think the subtext has just become text.
No one's ever failed a drug test because of poppy seeds, so we're fine.
Like that joke. Yeah, I failed the drug test because I had a poppy seed bagel. Okay, but we found crystal meth and heroin in there. It was an everything bagel. Yeah. The tumblers in question are the Swift Tricker and Roachworks for people watching the VODs. Yeah, I should have mentioned that. Thanks.
Maybe time for the shotgun because there's a million enemies out here. You're guaranteed to hit someone.
No need to aim when your enemy is everywhere.
Yep. I even got a knife throw.
Tank
right through
top
that
of
guy's
Gurren
arm.
Alice.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can up that text to super text. Yeah, just someone screaming in your face, do drugs already. There's a big neon sign saying, heroin is awesome, take opium all day. Maybe
I
not the
just
most
cocked his
subtle.
staff like a shotgun. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, maybe not the most subtle, but it gets the point across.
Why didn't you listen to Jefferson Airplane? White Rabbit is like the best song ever written.
There's a band called Collide who do a really good cover of it, I should point out.
Nice.
Goth band as well for extra moodiness. Fits in perfectly with this.
I can see that working. Yeah. I'm gonna step out real quick. Safety save. And they can't open doors, but they can go through doors.
Door fighting is your friend.
Yep. Use doors to split them up. Or break the doors.
Then carve them up like a turducken.
Yeah. Y'all got vorped. Okay, I'll take a second staff. Wish I could dual wield.
When is a croquet?
Yeah, there's a couple of places you can get it, and quite a few of the weapons actually. And Cheshire's got a spiel for each one. And whenever you pick up, like if you pick them up at the first opportunity, and then you grab the second one, he'll say the opening dialogue for it.
Nice.
Really, all it does.
That's
though,
actually similar to Nightmare Creatures.
Oh yeah. All it does is it just gives you a bit of extra mana.
That's acceptable. I need it. So I'm fighting another Banshee. He's still alive.
Not for long.
Thankfully. Dr. Big Heart, at least. Alright, poppies. We're gonna dump the LSD on them. And grow a candy.
It looks just like candy.
Yes. And send some peppermints. E. vulgaris.
Language. Okay, Skunkweed, now you're just taking the piss.
That is true, yeah. That's a little even more on the nose somehow.
That's so on the nose it's going boop.
Yep. So we just bring this shit back to the lab, I hope.
I think so, yeah.
The lab, which was right about here. You want the
This
shit?
condenser can.
I got the good
potion.
stuff.
Doesn't look like it's good for much else, though.
Okay, do your work, Heisenberg.
Now, time to leave, but not as you came. Go by way of the observatory. This stars for your stellar performance. May open some doors for you.
All right, now I'm allowed in the observatory.
I must go now. My planet needs me.
Got a star, we got some drugs.
Leave some perfectly good mushrooms on the table.
Yeah. Save those for the next lost soul. Thought the observatory was up, like, around here. Still want to go through this door. No, this is the dead-end library. No, this leads to the observatory because it stopped being a dead end.
As a little man walked through the wall.
Yep. Even just describing things that just happened is confusing.
It's one of those things where you're describing something that happened in a game and it's perfectly normal and everything you explain makes perfect sense, and then you stop and catch yourself and you just go, what the f am I saying?
Yep, it's all about context.
I have just put together a string of words that no one in history has ever said, and somehow it made sense to me. What part should I be?
Yeah, that's like 99% of what's fun about video game commentary.
Yeah.
Like people in their living rooms shouting, "I shaved the mustache, goddammit! Let me through!"
Peel the sheep harder!
That, by the way, was something my friends actually said while playing WarioWare.
I figured that was what it was. Now, the one that always springs to mind for me is Penny Arcade Strip from the mid-2000s. So talking about Shadow Hearts Covenant. Really good RPG if you've never played it. But in order to get equipment for one of the characters, you need to find barely censored gay smut. Lots of really buff dudes with just enough censorship hiding.
Just the fig leaves.
Yeah.
Basically. One fig leaf per dude.
Pretty much. So you need to go into everyone's house hoping that they are secretly hiding an entire treasure trove of gay smut in order to make pretty dresses for your living doll. That's not the joke, that's actually what happens.
I believe it. I know enough about Shadow Hearts to know that's on par with the sort of thing they do.
Those games are not subtle. Not by a long shot.
That was the initial PS2 RPG that I really wanted to get into, and I wish I had because those games are worth hundreds now.
Oh yeah, I've got all three of them.
Nice.
The British ones aren't as rare or expensive as the American ones. But yeah, strongly recommend. They are so much fun. Third one tries a bit too hard, both in terms of gameplay and story. But first one's good. Second one is easily one of the best RPGs in the PS2.
I honestly thought they all tried too hard after Kudelka. Because Kudelka's amazing.
Kudelka's the opposite direction. It doesn't need to try. It is that good.
Ooh, a writing desk.
Is there a raven on it?
It should be. Seems like a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Maybe we're going to meet a raven any moment now.
Nevermore.
But yeah, instead of getting into Shadow Hearts, I got into Shin Megami Tensei, because all I was looking for was an M-rated RPG.
Yeah.
Which was a brilliant idea. It was the more expensive and rare game, but then it got popular.
Yeah.
And now they re-released everything.
Oh, that's
devaluing my precious, precious games.
See, that's... I got into the series, I think I've probably mentioned it before. I got into the series because I was bored with RPGs being the same kind of quasi-Tolkien fantasy realm. Mm-hmm. And what I really wanted was an RPG with like a futuristic or a modern day setting. Then lo and behold, I start seeing adverts in American magazines for this game with a really unique art style that seems to be set in a sort of modern day, but with ever so slight technological sci-fi type things, called Persona 2. Game was never released in Europe, unsurprisingly. But
We only got half of it.
I had just started working my first proper paying job. Done like lots of part-time stuff as a teenager, but this was like the first time, dropped out of college, and I'm like, okay, now I can actually get a proper job. And there was an independent game shop in Glasgow that did import games and shipped PS1s. First paycheck, I was like, I've really got to do something to treat myself. Screw it, get my PS1 shipped, get a bunch of import games that I've never been able to play but always wanted to. Oh, would you look at that? They've got Persona 1 and 2. Yoink.
Hell yeah.
And thus started a 20-something year obsession with the series.
Yeah. It certainly lasted longer than anything those Shadow Hearts fans could have hoped for.
Oh, 100%. I still love Shadow Hearts. I still hope that someday we'll get a proper, not a sequel, but at the very least like a spiritual successor.
Yeah.
Not holding my breath, but yeah, we're slowly moving through the PS1 nostalgia era to the PS2 era, so hopefully, some indie developer will come up with something.
Totally, yeah, we're getting there. The iron is almost hot.
It's
But there we go. We made it through school.
Yep.
We graduated. So now we get to go to Tiny Huge Island. But this seems like a very logical stopping point.
Yeah. The next section, as I recall, can be very annoying. Be prepared.
I would imagine. I assume every level is going to get progressively more annoying.
Oh, yeah. Not so much for platforming, but there's one section in particular you're probably going to love.
Interesting. I mean, I already saw some cool bugs, but they were attacking me.
Yeah. Oh, there's plenty of bugs.
Nice. Well, that was a fun introduction to Alice.
I regret nothing.
There we go. Settings menu. We'll shake her head around a bit.
Shake all.
And then call it a day. More Alice next week.